one of the areas of excitement that I get when I'm working with clients who are teaching class, be it yoga or qigong or tai chi or meditation work or doing energy work, is that I get the satisfaction and the wonderful grace of seeing someone transition. For some, it's a very quick and, well, quick relatively speaking. Many people have come to me either in class or doing individual coaching work, having done already a lot of base foundational self-discovery work. So they're just on the cusp of getting it. Others, it takes some time. They may have recently just started, looking inwardly and looking at the bigger picture of their lives and looking at it consciously speaking, not just letting life just happen to them, but actually being a greater participant in terms of understanding how they've created certain realities for themselves, be they in relationships or career or otherwise. So it's been a really huge satisfaction for me because the type of work that I do, I say, is it's spirit work. It's all, but it's mind, body, spirit. It is. We come in with a mind. We come in having this brain that its purpose is to run this body and to help us figure out and maneuver things in the world around us and to learn and to grow and to process. And then we have the physical self, obviously, the body. Like I mentioned, the brain is part of that, but then there's mind and there's brain and there's, subtle differences or significant depending on which way you look at it. And then there's the soul. And I believe there is one. Even some of the people that I talk to, some people who aren't so sure, or because there isn't pure, irrefutable evidence that a soul exists for them, and that may be just their experience right now. I've seen that change with people as well through various events, be they subtle or tragic, that wakes someone up that maybe there is something greater to life than just being born and dying and nothingness before, nothingness after. I don't subscribe to that. I have too many personal experiences and those of others to think otherwise. And so we talk about our belief systems, and we talk about, and I say, the basic belief is that when you come to me, your awareness that there is at least the potential and the possibility for something much greater than you that created the universe and everything in it. I'm not going to define that specifically for you. You have to decide on what that is. There's people out there that will tell you very specifically what they think that is, and that you should subscribe to that belief. And I say, in the end, your truth is your own, and you need to know it. And whatever that is, your faith and your belief system within that continues to expand and grow. One of my colleagues and good friend, Lina Orlando, who I used to teach a workshop called the Power of Awareness workshop with, she created that workshop, and it was a very significant one for me a couple, 3 years ago. Pretty much taking me to the next level of the work that I had established in terms of my self-awareness and self-discovery and spiritual development, stemming back, 15, 20 years. I started very young, probably in my teens, really asking the really deep and heavy question of who am I and why am I here, on an esoteric level. But all tangents aside, the question of spirituality. It's a common conversation and topic that people are talking about today. I don't care where you're from, whether you're in a religious setting, within a church system, or you're not, or you're outside of that, and you've decided, and you were in that, or you've come out of that, and you're looking at the broader picture, seeing what the similarities are. And in the end, we hear it, it's cliche, it's all one, but cliches exist for a reason as well. I tell my students, every cliche that you have, there's a semblance of truth to that. Be with it. Know it. But it's easy, simple enough for us to just say something and say, oh yeah, it's all one, it's all the same, but not really know what that means exactly. It sounds good, the Pollyanna aspect, and this is not something new per se that's been around just within the last few months or a few years, stemming back probably to certain cultural revolutions, especially in this country back in the 50s and 60s, primarily in this country, and around the world as well. Lots has happened in just the last 100 years. And if you look at that with a broader scope, you will see how a lot that is happening is actually taking us back. It's taking us back to a point of origin in terms of where do all of these beliefs stem from. Most people don't even realize and know that the God of the Judaic, Christian, and Muslim faiths is exactly the same God. It is the God of Abraham. And yet, every single one of those three doctrines share very specific and different views on how that God is perceived, the role that God plays in their life, how connected they are to that God or not, and whether or not there's a specific individual in one of those faiths, be that Christianity, that God was fully embodied in a man named Jesus. And I say God is fully embodied in every single one of us, and that was the message that a teacher like Jesus was trying to tell us. So today's reading is perfect, and it always is. And I don't read these every day. Some of you guys who've seen my videos or seen me share before, it's like, today I was speaking about letting go and letting it flow and coming back to wholeness, coming back to healing, because that's what so many people that do this work are trying to do, is come back to a place it always is coming back to, in a way. But I say the spiral opens and goes up. So today's reading, and I just wanted to share this with you there, those thoughts first, and I'll close with this. And take what you will, leave what doesn't, and have a great day. Whole and perfect, complete. We are all like flies crawling across the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. We cannot see what angels and gods lie underneath the threshold of our perceptions. A quote from William Irwin Thompson. The answer to every question is within man, because man is within spirit, and spirit is an indivisible whole. From the Science of Mind. Paul Williams wrote, "You have a power that has nothing to do with what you do or what you say or who you know or what you know or who you are, or what you look like or your skills, your talents, or what you have. It is your presence. Each of us is God expressing, and that is where our power exists. We are human and we are divine. We have the ability to work with the greatest power that will ever be to manifest the lives that we desire." Christian Larson taught that we need to take the path that leads us into the light. We must live like spiritual beings. That's what so many of us are trying to do anyways. Look at Jesus and how many people look and say, I want to be like Jesus. A truly embodiment of physical manifestation, an embodiment of God, an idea that has affected the world for over 2,000 years now. So some truth in there, and I believe that's the goal, not the end. We need to make the decision to fully commit and live from the inside out. Ernest Holmes wrote, "I am the Christ dwelling at the center of every soul, yet every human is divine." That is the true self, the one that is in the world but not of it, the one that moves beyond the ego. Our power comes from within. If we allow people or circumstances or our position to be our power base, then we can lose it, and many do. If they give it, they can take it away. When we rely on the power within, we are always centered in God, who is the only real power in the universe. Today's affirmation. Today I recognize the true power that I possess. I make the decision to live from the inside out, centered always on Source. So I encourage you to go within and find that inner strength, because you alone possess the greatest of all potential reality, because you are of God, the great creator of all things. Know that, believe that, and that the two do exist, the one within as well as the one without. I love you guys. Have a great, wonderful day. Namaste. Peace be with you. Visit us online at www.on-common-ground.com, and you can see us on YouTube also. There's a link on the On Common Ground website. See us on Facebook. Just have a great day. Have fun. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao for now. Later.